Good morning, folks. I did a little more work on the SE5a yesterday, and the reason I chose this livery, one of 5 options, was I thought it had the most pizzazz of the 5. Frankly, they're all, a little bit dull. I mean, PC10 covering most of the plane, that olive drab brown combo is not exactly exciting, especially when you compare it to the German planes, but that tends to be the case for most of the RFC and then RAF planes. But what I did like about this option were the black and white spars and the white wheel covers. I thought gave a little bit more contrast than the other choices, so I decided to go with this. What I did get done was I got the Aldis sight. Now I remember what it's called. I looked it back up. I got the Aldis sight and the windscreen in place. Both of those could have been tricky, but I was careful. I made sure I used canopy glue on the underside of the windscreen, which is all one clear plastic piece, and then you paint the frame underneath. And the Aldis sight had 2 very, very flimsy little, tripods, front and back, or bipods. They're only 2 legs that you attach, but everything went together. Now, I had intended to do the wing spars, not insert them, just test fit them, but get them in black and white. And right now you perhaps can note that they're actually in gray primer, and then I put a gloss coat on. Now the reason I put a gloss coat on is Wingnut Wings provided these, in the decal set were the alternating stripes, black and white. I was wondering just how well they would fit, although I thought, well, that's handy, saves a lot of masking if they work. You'll note there are only 3 there. Yes, this kit came out in 2009, so it's a bit old, and while the decals were very well protected in an unopened box, everything's sealed up. When I started the process of putting one on, it disintegrated. I mean, literally disintegrated. Came apart in multiple pieces. That slightly bothering me. I'm wondering if that's going to be the case for the rest of the decal set, in which case I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I do know what I will do, of course, with the wing struts, which is get them in white gloss. I will use one of these as sort of a stencil or as a guide for masking up all 4 of the struts, and then they will be painted black and white. But that will be later. The sequence of events is actually to put the struts on, the cabane struts on, which go the back one, rear one there, front one right there. And those are in a light wood. No, I'm sorry, they're not in wood. They're in the PC10 color, so they're already painted. It'll be interesting for this one, of course, has got a slot, so it should fit in a dry fitting pretty firmly. That's not going to be the case for the rear support, which is sort of an indentation. I really doubt, although I can tack it in with a little bit of blue tack just for a test fitting, and that's what I intend to do. The cabane struts will go on first, and I will position them to match up with a stencil where I've put the impressions of where each 4 endpoints should be based on the lower surface of the upper wing. Everybody following? I'm sort of following myself. But none of that's going to happen now for a couple of days. I have to make a 600-mile trip tomorrow, a return trip 600 miles in the car on Saturday for an event on Friday in Kalispell, Montana. And I expect I'm going to lose a couple days for recovery from that road trip. So I'm just going to leave things the way they are. I'll get these struts white today, but that's about it. No masking, no other detail work, and we'll just leave it as is and go on from there. And I have a bad feeling I'm going to have to come up with a plan B, because if those decals, or the one that's missing, if they're all in that shape, I'm going to have major issues with the stripes, the roundels, and that particular decal is one strip, the roundel, the K, and the reverse zigzag there. And I can just imagine what that's going to be like if it's too fragile and has aged too much. We'll cross that bridge later. Thanks for watching.